Hello, it's Jeanette, the Sunnyland Seller, and I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about burnout. I'm feeling very overwhelmed lately and burnt out. I feel like I've been immersing myself in reselling, working full time, and then whenever I'm not working, it seems like I'm reselling. So it's kind of like two full-time jobs. I've been on vacation this week, and every day that I wake up, I hit the ground 6, 7, sometimes 5:30 in the morning, and immediately start doing things related to reselling. When I go to bed at night, I even dream about sourcing or something to do with reselling. I think about it when I go to bed. I'm always trying to think of different ideas, ways to make things better, ways to be more successful or have more sales. And I just reached this point last night where I felt like I don't want to do this anymore. It's, not fun. So I think first and foremost, I need to tell myself that I have a full-time job and this is a hobby for me. It's not the way I make my living. So I don't have to work at it 40 hours a week. I can do as much or as little as I would like. If it was my full-time job, that would be a way different story. Yes, the YouTube videos do take a lot of time, but I really enjoy doing it. It's a creative outlet for me, one that I didn't have lately, and I love being creative. I love photography. I love to write. So it's really exciting and new, something different for me to do. It makes me feel passionate and it gives me something to look forward to. And I'm glad that you're along for that journey. I'm also reconsidering, not reconsidering, I am revamping the way I do things. I'm deciding to niche down. Before I was just picking up anything and everything, throwing stuff at the wall to see what would stick, trying different things to see what's successful, which isn't a bad idea. I mean, experimenting is a good thing, I think, especially when you're starting out. So far, the only thing I've found that sells on a consistent basis for me is Harley shirts. And those are not always easily found out in the wild for the price that you can get them to resell and make a profit. So that's the challenge there. But I think I'm going to focus on clothing, shoes, jewelry, mostly purses. It's something that I do enjoy sourcing, and I do know about clothing brands. I mean, I have a lot to learn, don't get me wrong. But I feel comfortable doing it. I've been going to Goodwill since I've been 17 years old, buying all my clothes there. So I'm familiar with a lot of brands, but there's a lot more that I need to learn about. So yeah, glass. I think I'm going to stay away from glass and little knick-knack things. They don't sell well for me. They just sit there, and then I get discouraged. I'm not the most patient person in the world either, I will admit that. I just don't want to hold on to something for 2 years, and I really can't because I have a 700 square foot house. I live in a very tiny home. So it's a challenge to store things, and I do not want to pay for a storage locker because I think that defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do, which is basically just raise some extra money every month so I can have some fun with it or buy some extra things for our house. My paycheck goes towards bills. That's my contribution to the bills. So the money that I make from reselling, that's my fun money. And I've been able to buy several things for the house with it too, which makes me feel great, and pay cash. My husband and I have worked very hard to get out of debt, and we're pretty close, pretty darn close. Of course, we still have to pay off our house, and that's the biggest thing. But our cars are paid for, and all of our credit cards are gone. The debt is wiped out. We paid it all off. So feel pretty darn good about that. So yeah, right now thinking about niching down is keeping me going. It's keeping me motivated. Otherwise, I was ready to just throw in the towel or take a long break from it. I'm sure a lot of you out there can relate to this. Tell me what your struggles are. Reselling, you have to be dedicated, you have to be disciplined, a self-motivator, and I think I am all of those things. It's just that when you immerse yourself into something and you spend hours upon hours dedicating time to it, you hope to see some results, and if you're not, you start feeling discouraged. That's just human nature, of course. Sales have been slow for me lately. I know if I post, 10 Harley shirts tonight, I'll make some sales. That's a given. But I was hoping to be able to sell some other types of things too. And it just seems to be going really slow. So I'm not ready to throw in the towel. I want to keep trying. So we're going to see what happens with these new formulas. I'm taking all of the free glass stuff that I got at the 60 Years of Treasure yard sale to the flea market at the end of this month with me, and I'm going to put it on a dollar table and try to get rid of that way. Hopefully make a little bit of profit for the time that was invested there. I was at that 60-year sale for about 5 hours total. And then this weekend I might get some metal racks for my storage bins over here and hopefully fill this whole back wall with new metal racks. And eventually I want to get some nice see-through clear plastic totes and put back on this wall because they're bigger and they hold more. And today I ordered those cellophane clear plastic bags for shirts and clothes. I ordered 200 of those on Amazon, different sizes. So then I'll start putting all of my clothes in those, and I think I'm going to go through all of my totes and reevaluate what's in there and see what I want to purge and what I still want to sell. Other than that, yeah, I still have a lot of stuff on my tables, as you can see. My mom was over today and we wrapped all of the glass stuff and got that put into 2 big totes. So I was really excited and happy to get that done at least. See all of this merchandise over here yet. Another thing that was interesting today, I woke up this morning and, was sitting on the couch with my head in my hands, just feeling overwhelmed and not in the best frame of mind. And I thought, I should talk about this. I should be real about it. I don't want to be on YouTube acting like everything's always rosy in the reselling world, because it's not. There are struggles. And I think a lot of people appreciate when you're honest about that because they can relate. I know that I'm thankful when I hear other resellers talking about some struggles that they face, so that we all feel like we're in it together. I know that if I watch a lot of other resellers on YouTube and they're always saying they're having great sales and everything's going great all the time, it actually starts to make me feel discouraged sometimes, because I wonder what I'm doing wrong. How come they don't have any struggles and I do? Am I doing something wrong? Possibly, but I'm sure they have struggles as well. So I've invested countless hours, hundreds of hours, watching other resellers on YouTube to learn, to educate myself. And I appreciate them immensely. They have some really, really good advice and good information, and I've learned tons, and I will continue to watch them. So this morning, though, I was sitting on the couch having my coffee, and I thought, I don't even want to watch reseller videos, which is really unusual for me because I always want to watch them all the time. I'll watch 5 hours a day in the background, listening to it while I do other things. But I happened to come across a girl reseller that I had never heard of or listened to before, and she had a great video. It was asking other resellers what their one tip is for selling on eBay. She asked 24 different ones, and I forgot her name. I think it's Becky. Becky sells on Poshmark or something like that. And it was awesome. Just other resellers giving their one tip, and I just found it extremely, extremely helpful. Then I also listened to a podcast by, I believe, a reseller lady in Australia who sells books, and I forgot her name. I apologize. And she was interviewing a guy who makes $5 million a year selling on eBay, and I listened to the podcast, and really he inspired me. He has his store on eBay, and he lists 250 items a day, every day, no matter what, and he mainly sells clothing. So I found his store, and I started studying and taking notes on what he sells, what brands, what kind of things he's selling, and he said that he believes in niching down, and he sells clothing mostly. He's the #1 men's clothing seller on eBay, and I looked at all the brands that he's selling, and mostly on the first page anyway, I saw Ralph Lauren shirts. Tons and tons of Ralph Lauren. So I took note of that, and later in the day I went to pick up my mom, and we went out to lunch, and we passed a garage sale on the way, so I asked her if she wanted to stop, and she said sure. We weren't planning on going to any sales today, but we went to this sale, and lo and behold, I walk up to the clothing rack at the sale, and it's got a bunch of Ralph Lauren shirts. So I thought, what are the odds of that? It's almost like a sign to me. So I bought some, and I'm going to try to sell those and see what happens. And then the other interesting thing is the lady having the garage sale was one of my mom's long lost friends. One of my mom's best friends just bought a house and is moving to Georgia, so my mom's pretty sad about that. She's losing her friend. And then she runs into a lady that she was really close to in high school, and they hung out in the 70s at the garage sale we went to today. So they exchanged phone numbers, and they're going to get together. So I told her the Lord works in mysterious ways. So I just thought both of those things were really interesting. Me finding those shirts that I had just saw on a video this morning, and then her running into her friend. So I hope this video doesn't bum anybody out. That's not my intention. I just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts and see if anyone else out there can relate, and what your tips are, and how you stay in the game, what you do to overcome the adversity that you might be feeling. If you want to share those thoughts. Hello, sorry about that. The battery died on my GoPro. So I think I was really close to ending my video anyway, but what do you guys think out there? Do you think niching down is important? Do you just try to resell anything if you're a reseller watching? Or just, even if you're not a reseller, do you like to watch resellers who sell all kinds of things, or do you watch certain ones because you know that they have a special niche that you enjoy learning about or watching or buying? Just curious what your thoughts are. And before I close out, I do have a positive note to tell you that I did have a couple of sales today. I sold a Harley shirt and a little, this is hard to explain, it's like a little plastic fan, and it has a little ball inside of it, and you ask it a question, and then you roll the ball around, and it will stop on yes, no, maybe. It's kind of like a little mini Ouija board. So that sold today, probably because Halloween's coming. Speaking of Halloween, let me show you the very cool cup, the tumbler cup that my mom bought me when we were on our road trip in Galesburg this week. I love it. It's aluminum, keeps the drinks cold, has all kinds of neat things on it. I love Halloween. I think it's my favorite holiday, and fall is my favorite season. What are your favorites? Let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great evening, and I'll see you soon.